G'day everybody, it's Master Yoda here and hope you guys are all doing well. Title of today's video is My Speed Rejection, I meant Speed Dating Experience. For those of you not familiar with speed dating, or as I call it, speed rejection, what it is, these are singles functions. Normally, they're usually held in a bar or a cafe, maybe a pub. And what they are, what you have, you might have 10 men and 10 women, or with the ones that I attended, there was 12 men and 12 women. I guess it depends on which part of the world you're in. I'm not sure how it works in other countries, but here in Australia, the ones I went to, there was 12 men and 12 women. You interact with 12 other people for a period of 6 minutes, and at the end of that interaction, you then indicate whether you'd like to see that person again. So with myself, there was 12. There was at the speed rejection things that I went to. There was 12 men and 12 women. The first speed rejection function that I attended was in October 2005. It was held at a nut market bar here in Sydney. It was in Pitt Street. For those of you not familiar with Pitt Street, Pitt Street is one of our main streets here in the CBD of Sydney. It was held. The first speed rejection function I went to was held at Nut Market Bar in Pitt Street. So, yeah, look, the first one I attended to, I got rejected every single time. But look, I'll give the ladies their credit. At least they were nice about it, and some of them were quite attractive as well. But they were nice and polite about it. So, yeah, it sucked that I got rejected every time, but at least the women were polite about it. The second time, 2 months later, in December of 2005, that was a complete and utter shit show. Oh my god, it was bad. All the women there, and I'm not exaggerating, had this terrible attitude. I think they were expecting Chads to turn up, and then unfortunately all us average and below average looking guys turned up, and these women, they really had these angry looks on their faces. Look, I'm not exaggerating. And I'm not, look, I'm not a misogynist, but I'm not going to sugarcoat the reality of the situation. All the women had this terrible, terrible attitude. It was. I mean, one woman, her attitude was so bad. I said to her, "You don't want to be here, do you?" She goes, "No." I was thinking of, arguing the point with her, but I didn't want to cause a scene. So I said, "Okay, no worries." One lady I interacted with, she was from the US, and she was ugly, and she was very butch, very masculine, and she gave me a filthy look. I thought she was quite rude. I didn't retaliate. I just said, "Okay, lady, no worries, whatever." Another woman, she was quite attractive, but she also had a bad attitude. She just sat next to the window with her arms folded and this angry look in her face. All the women there had a really angry, shitty look on their faces. I don't know, maybe it was that time of the month again. But I think a lot of these women were very entitled, and they probably expected all Chads to turn up, and then then us average and ugly looking guys like me turn up, and they all had the shits. It was terrible. The women had a really bad attitude. I tried to break the ice, try to crack a few jokes, but no, these women wouldn't be in it. I mean, with one lady I was interacting with, I just asked her for an opinion on something, and she snapped back at me and said, "Oh, I'm not qualified to talk about that." I said, "Okay, lady, whatever." So one lady snapped at me, one gave me a dirty look, one had a bad attitude. Well, they all had a bad attitude. It was bad. It was horrible. They all had these angry looks on their faces, and then they're just insufferable, And look, I tried to break the ice and crack a few jokes, and no, these ladies were about as much fun as a funeral. Actually, I've been to funerals that were more fun than interacting with these ladies. They were insufferable. Halfway through these speed rejection function, there's an interval. It goes for about 15 minutes. If you want to go to the toilet or you want to get yourself a drink. And I was speaking to the MC for the night, who happened to be this smoking hot Canadian woman, but very polite. She was lovely. She was very, very polite to me, very nice. And I was making a little bit of small talk with her. I wasn't trying to hit on her or anything. I wasn't trying to hit on her or anything like that. She was out of my league anyway, but completely out of my league. Here's me, a sub-3 subhuman, and she was a hot blonde Stacey. But she was very polite, very nice, very, very nice to me. And I was making a bit of small talk with her, and a conversation went something like this. I said to her, "Are you American?" She goes, "No, I'm Canadian," because sometimes Canadian and American accents can sound the same. I said, "Okay." And I said, "How long have you been in Sydney?" She goes, "Oh, a few months." I said, "How do you like it?" She said, "Oh, I don't mind. It's okay." And then, totally unsolicited, I did not solicit this information from her. She goes to me, "I feel sorry for you men in Sydney." I said, "Why is that?" "Your women are horrible." I said, "Okay, yeah, can't disagree with that." And now, for that to come from a woman herself tells you something. She could read that as the MC for the night. She could read that room, and she just said the appalling attitude of these women. And she's probably saying to herself, "Why weren't these women socialised with these men?" Probably because we weren't chads. But yeah, she was probably saying, "What's wrong with these women? Why are they being so insufferable?" So yeah, for a woman to say that to me, it really tells you something. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, one shaming tactic that's often levelled at us men in the BP and Inkwell community is that we've got a negative attitude. No, we don't. That's just projection. If anything, I think it's women who've got the bad negative attitude. I mean, I've lost count at the sob stories women have told me about how her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband treated her like shit. I don't solicit that kind of information from women. Like when I'm talking to women, particularly when I have a romantic interest in, I want to talk about happy, positive stuff. I don't want to hear about her ex-partners. I mean, when I'm chatting up a woman, I don't go to, "Excuse me, miss, can you tell me about all the shit experiences you've had with men?" Well, firstly, it's none of my business. And secondly, he wants to hear it. He wants to hear it. Like, I mean, okay, look, if people have had bad relationships in the past, that's unfortunate. Nobody deserves that, but it's water under the bridge. You got to keep things moving. You got to move forward. But no, women. If there's one thing I've learned about women, even though I've had no luck with them, they never get over their ex-partners. More so the serious ones, but particularly if they've had kids with a guy. But more so the serious. But they never get over them, even if they had a bad relationship with them. Yeah, women never get over their exes. Yeah, and just on this speed rejection, yeah, it was terrible, and never again. So the speed rejection function that I attended in December 2005 was the second and very last speed rejection thing I went to. That was just it was terrible. The women had a terrible attitude. I mean, it's pretty bad when even the female MC was was appalled at their behaviour and tells me that Sydney women are horrible. So, but it is what it is. But just on speed dating or speed rejection functions, if you go on a lot of manosphere channels, or if you just go to YouTube and in the search engine, if you just say men not turning up to singles function, you'll get a whole plethora of videos detailing accounts where they held speed rejection functions. More so in the US. It's happened a couple of times in the UK as well. What would happen is that they put on a speed rejection function, and you have something like 90% women turn up or 100% women turn up and virtually no men turning up. I can understand why, because a lot of men, why pay 30 or whatever these things, $30, $40 or whatever these things cost, just to be humiliated in public? I mean, I was checking out one Manosphere channel, and the narrator of the video said, "Yeah, wild guys go to these things. What do you say?" He goes, "They're a public humiliation ritual," and they are. They are. I mean, as a man, you go to these speed rejection things, and you just get rejected and humiliated in public. Who wants to subject themselves to that? Who wants to sign up for that? Who wants to pay 30, 40, $50 or whatever they cost these days to attend a public humiliation ritual? Yeah, and and as with my video regarding should a man give up on dating, I think one reason men do give up on dating, well aside from all the rejections, is they get rejection fatigue. Yeah. Now I have to confess I didn't come up with that suggestion. I heard that from one of the other manosphere channels. Yeah, men are suffering from rejection fatigue because it does fatigue you. It does mentally burn you out. So yeah, a lot of men now are just saying, stuff it. I'm not going to go to these speed rejection things. And you see these women, they're complaining, oh, where are the men? Where are the men? And well, what they're really complaining about, where are the chads? Where are the chads? Well, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, ladies, or the modern woman. You put this upon yourself. You've totally wrecked the dating scene. You have. I'm sorry. I make no apologies for saying that. And even a lot of the manosphere channels agree with me. You know, all the feminism, the Me Too bullshit, false allegations, calling men creeps, even if they don't behave like creeps. Um, you know, humiliating men for no good reason. Sorry, you know, unfortunately, a lot of modern women, I'm not saying all of them, look, there's good, decent women out there, but a lot of modern women, they're undateable and they're insufferable. And ladies, you've put this upon yourself. You really have. You've turned down good, genuine men, you turn down, nice guys, genuine nice guys, not fake nice guys. And then you complain, where are all the good men? you, you, you turned them down. You humiliated them. You drove them away. Yeah, so so if overseas, they've held a lot of these speed rejection functions, and the men aren't turning up. And there's been many instances where there's like 90% women, or even 100% women, and no guys, no dudes, no dudes. I remember, I remember reading a report about a nightclub in America, and it was women only, and they showed it, and it was just all the women were just sitting there, just bored. If you want a woman only, what did you expect? Yeah. But just going back to the speed rejection functions, I mean, there's been numerous ones overseas, and no men turned up. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Why go there, get rejected like a bloody idiot? And yeah, it's a public humiliation ritual. Yep. I think that's the best description for speed rejection functions. A public humiliation ritual. Yeah. With the speed rejection functions that I attended back in 2005, it cost me about $30, and it was just bought you one drink. Since I don't drink alcohol, I just bought myself I think I bought myself just a lemonade or a Diet Coke or something like that. But yeah, that was my experience with speed rejection. It sucked. It was rubbish. And I'll never again. And I think a lot of other guys are catching on to that as well. I think they've gone to these public humiliation rituals and said, "No, screw this. Why go to this thing just to get rejected like an idiot? No, it's not worth it." Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to my video. If you'd like to leave your likes, comment, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. You'll have a great day. Bye for now.